There's a car that's been around the Northwest for decades that I've always thought is one of the nicest customs in the area. It is a beautiful 1951 Ford four-door sedan. And Tim Norman, I understand you had a lot to do with this car. Tell us about it.
Well, a customer of mine found this car in a barn in Redmond, I think about 10 years ago. We all looked at it and found out the history of it and wanted to bring it back the way it was. So we researched colors and all that stuff. Yeah, just started the process, tore it apart. We did a little extra stuff. We put air ride on it just for that effect. I did a little extra in the upholstery and, in the engine bay and stuff. But I think we captured the essence of the original car pretty good. So yeah.
The customer that's Dan Holmes, is that right?
Yep, Dan Holmes, the owner. He's got some pretty fantastic cars, and this is just one of them.
Yeah, he does have a lot of fantastic cars. He's been on the show before. Dan couldn't be here today, so you got elected. The running gear on it, tell us about it.
It's an original flathead, but it's hopped up, 3/4 race, 3 carbs on it, aluminum heads, the whole everything. It's got a magneto, and then stock 3-speed transmission with the floor shift. Yeah, other than that, pretty original, yeah.
Flathead with a full race, that has a really nice traditional ring to it.
Oh, yeah.
The history on the car, I understand we have somebody significant here that has to do with the history of the car.
Yeah, after the car was built and shown for many years, it was somehow made it up. It was built in Portland. It made it up here to Washington. Randy Ritchie wanted it. His dad, I guess they went and bought it, and he can tell you more about it.
Through the magic of television, Randy Ritchie is here. Randy Ritchie, I understand that you are a significant part of the history of this car, and it is a part of your history. So tell us about it.
It definitely has a history. It was given to me by my dad. We'd acquired it up in the Kirkland area, and it was a neat old custom. So I got to drive it. He never did drive it, but he gave it to me as a wedding gift. And then like a year later, we got divorced, and then the car disappeared. He took it back. Car went into storage for the next, whatever it was, 40 years. Deteriorated really bad. And Dan Holmes, a friend of ours, he really was interested in the car. So he brought it all back to life with the help of Tim. And here it is today.
Do you have any good cruising story or something that we all can identify with that's sort of the American graffiti story on this?
I have a Northwest story. And everybody in the Northwest used to cruise Seward Park. So me and my wife, wasn't a wife, my wife then, we went down there and I got a flat tire. Didn't have a spare. What am I going to do? So some guy says, I remember that car. It was in a car show. And he went and got me a wheel. We put it on there, and I was off again. So thanks to Seward Park.
And Seward Park on the south end of Seattle, a long-time cruising spot. Was there a good meeting of the minds when you got back into this and you guys connected? Were you all and Dan overseeing the whole thing? How did the restoration and rebuild go?
When I first saw it, it was like a god-awful dark gold color. And I don't know who painted it, and then we started looking at it. We opened the door, and there's a tag on the side of the seat, Stylecraft Upholstery from Portland, which is a pretty high-end, famous upholstery shop. So then we knew we had to leave it how they did it. So I started taking the upholstery off, matched the colors.
Very cool. A four-door sedan, not something that was normally customized back then, but man, does it work perfectly on this. What was the reaction to having a four-door back when you had it?
I drove it to high school, so everybody loved this car because it was a custom and it was, from the era. And I was everybody. And they'd always say, oh, there comes Randy with the gold car, So it was pretty cool, and the flathead in it. And I'd rebuilt the flathead and had a four-barrel on it when I had it. I remember my high school shop teacher, I took off for him right by the shop, and I could get second gear rubber with it, and he goes, hey, that's pretty cool,
So when you look at this, do you just sort of drift back? I mean, do the decades fall by the wayside and you're 16 or 17, or do you hug it every night if you could?
No, but when it comes out to shows, it really needs to come to more shows, and I hope that's going to happen because a lot of people love this car. And it was a custom. It was in a lot of magazines, as we can see on the floor here. This car was actually built at the same time in the same garage as the X51.
We recently had the X51 on the show. We were down at Peterson Museum.
Yeah, and it'd be wonderful to have these two cars together at some time.
Well, maybe we can help make that happen.
That'd be neat. That would be cool, yeah.
As a matter of fact, right here is a picture of that car right there. You see it?
Oh, yeah, I see it right there.
All right, guys, thank you very much for being on the show. Randy, beautiful car. Thanks for the memories. Tim, way to go on bringing this thing back to life. Thank you very much.